What if I told you that the problem you are trying to solve probably isn't your real problem? In this video, I want to talk about whether therapy is actually worth it and why I think most people wait far too long until they actually give it a try. And I will share a couple of stories that completely change the way I think about how our minds work. My name is Elder and welcome to Speak Life. I started seeing a new therapist a few weeks ago after about 6 months away from it. And after just one session, I feel so much better. Like I had so much clarity in that session and I walked away feeling great. And it made me realize something, that therapy is still quite a taboo even though we're in 2026. Now, some people might think it's too expensive, that it's a luxury, or some people might think that your life has to be shit for you to go. Or you might even think, I'm not crazy, why would I go to therapy? Well, I gotta tell you, everyone's a little bit crazy these days. And I tell you, I was like that. 10 years ago, if you were to tell me that you were going to therapy, I would immediately think that there's something really wrong with your life. But then one of my students back in the day when I was teaching English, she was also graduating in psychology, and she told me that if your life is good, that's actually the best time to go, because then you're just going to thrive. And that changed the way I thought about things. But then obviously I didn't listen for her advice, and I also waited until shit hits the fan so I could actually go. But it's funny because you probably go to the dentist every 6 months, you probably take your car to service every now and then, right? But then why wait until your life is actually falling apart to go and get advice from a professional? And right now I'm quite blessed because I think I'm in one of the best stages of my life yet, and that is exactly why I wanted to go back. I've been in and out of therapy basically for 5 years. Now for me it's not a every week kind of thing. I just go when I need some new perspective, or obviously when shit hits the fan too. Over these years I learned quite a few things, and that's what I want to share in this video today. So let me tell the story of my friend Anna. So Anna is a very good friend and she's been trying to lose weight basically since I met her. And I actually met Anna on the New Year's Eve of 2018 to 2019. And I remember because at that time she was very clear and she said, 2019 is going to be the year I lose weight. And it's funny enough because Anna actually diets during the week. She's quite consistent. She goes to the gym on a regular basis. But since 2019, Anna hasn't lost a single kilo because all the effort that she puts during the week, during the weekend, she goes to a all-you-can-eat buffet and then she just stuffs her face with food. And it's funny because one day I was talking to Anna and she told me something about her childhood. She told me that her mom didn't like to cook. Her mom didn't cook very well. She cooked very bland food. So then on the weekends, her mom would take her out to all-you-can-eat buffet, and her mom used to say, eat as much as you can now because when we go home, I'm not gonna cook anything else for today. As a little girl, that made perfect sense. But now Anna is almost 40 years old and still repeating the same pattern. Anna doesn't like to go to normal restaurants because she feels that she gotta get her money's worth when she goes to an all-you-can-eat buffet and just try to eat everything she can put her hands on. Now, I don't know if that's the whole explanation for her weight problem, but until someone help her connect the dots, she'll probably never even stop to think about it. Because you see, sometimes we learn stuff in our childhood and that stuff stay with us for decades until we're old. It could be food, it could be money. Think about relationships, for example. If you grew up in a house that your parents are loving and caring, your relationships tend to seem a lot better. Sometimes the things we learn in childhood stays with us for decades. It could be food, it could be money, it could be relationships, for example. We all carry scripts that we don't even realize. And then the second story is my good buddy, Larry. And then not too long ago, Larry texted me because he wanted help with the workout. He said, bro, I've been lazy, I want to start working out. And I just said, okay, bro, I can hook you up with a workout, but are you gonna train at home or are you gonna go to a gym? And then he said, yeah, man, I'll train at home because I'm broke and I don't have any money. And then I asked, why, bro, what happened? And then he told me that he had lost a whole bunch of money online gambling. That was one thing. And then he went to tell me that he split up with his girlfriend, but he was still living with her because he had nowhere to go. Basically, he was crashing on his ex-girlfriend's sofa for the last few months. Then suddenly that conversation was definitely not about fitness anymore. So I was like, bro, losing weight is the least of your problem. And as we kept talking, another piece of the story came up because I knew Larry lost his mom in a very unexpected way about a couple of years ago. And I knew that Larry was really sad because he was constantly posting pictures of his mom and saying how much he missed her. And just a few days after that, he posted actually a screenshot of an app that he has on his phone that's counting the days since his mom passed away. It was something like 1,000 something days without. Now, I cannot even imagine what it is to lose a parent. Luckily, my parents are still alive and healthy, and I know everybody grieves differently. But it made me wonder how much of this sadness, how much of his life was still being shaped by something that happened like 2-3 years ago, and he never really had the tools to process it. He's gambling, his relationship falling apart, he's being overweight and broke. Maybe those weren't like really separate problems. Maybe they were all connected. They were all a symptom of this huge grief that he wasn't able to process. Now, asking me for a workout definitely wouldn't help him with that, but I'm pretty sure a good therapist would. And that's really why I wanted to make this video, because sometimes we see people spending years trying to solve the wrong problem. We think we need to lose weight, we think we need to make more money, we think we need to find a better job, we think we need to get a better relationship. But underneath all of that, there might be something we never stopped to have a deep look at. Think about that person you know that had 6 different jobs. Every single job, their boss is horrible, or their company is shit, or that friend that has a toxic boyfriend then breaks up and then finds another one and is another toxic boyfriend again. At some point, you gotta ask yourself, what's the only common denominator in all of these situations? And it's probably you. Maybe there's something bigger underneath all of that that's actually running the show for years without you even realizing. So if you've been stuck in the same loop for years, going to therapy might be one of the best investments you can possibly make. Now, don't get me wrong, therapy is no magic wand. It's not gonna solve all your problems just like that, but a good therapist might help you see something you've probably never been able to see it yourself. And if this video encourages at least one person to go and book that first session with a therapist, my job here is done. Now, you don't know any good therapists, just ask some of your friends. One of your friends is probably going to therapy as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in the next one.